Alright, this video is about Darpa and what I've come to realize about Darpa. So not recently, but I've known it for a while. I didn't really want to believe it. Darpa has been experimenting on people like me using CRISPR to the dopamine receptors in your eye. It's like a giant system from your eyes to your stomach, i.e. the CRISPR or the genetically modified food in your stomach. And if you know anything about bacteria or terrain, most of the serotonin is produced in your gut, they say. And my theory, not really my theory, I think it's just more of a fact at this point. If you don't have enough healthy bacteria in your intestine, in your gut, they say there's more bacteria cells than there are human cells. If you don't have enough bacteria in your gut, you don't have enough serotonin. And then if they could figure out a way, which they probably do, they do, to modify or control via your intestinal flora, based off of dopamine receptors in your eyes, they could control your serotonin or genetically engineered bacteria in your intestines. So that's what I think they're doing to me. I've been drinking a lot of apple cider vinegar with water. There's like coffee right there. A little bit of residual coffee in the cup. But I don't eat enough vegetables. When you drink a lot of apple cider vinegar, it creates an environment for healthy bacteria, lactic bacteria, to flourish, and it also creates an environment for non-healthy bacteria to not flourish. So that's why I'm going to stick to that. It has worked a little bit in the past. However, with the recent development of gluten and how that protein is like the building block for the CRISPR, if you will, I can't eat a whole lot of gluten. It's too toxic, especially if what I heard about the smart dust being sprayed and how they're experimenting on people. It's possible. I know that the 5G is a terrible, connects your brain to the cloud, to the Internet of Things. So if you're wearing a smart watch or any other computer token-based system that can connect your body to a device, to the cloud, I wouldn't recommend it. I do because I like to listen to podcasts, but it does have an effect on me. It's annoying as heck. As soon as I get a job, as soon as I get healthy, I'm going to get a job, pay my bills, and I don't know. I've noticed that I have a lot of, fuzziness, cloudiness, cloudy-mindedness. It's typical with like candida symptoms. I've had tubes in my ears 3 times. each, maybe 4 times. I can't recall. Definitely 3 times because I remember that. Um, 3 times I've had tubes in my ears, and they gave me mass spectrum antibiotics, which kills it kills both the good and bad bacteria. So I don't know if the Jasons did that. Um, spaces in your head, connecting your head to the cloud. That's what Space Force is. So if you're going crazy and hearing voices on the radio, when you turn to a certain radio frequency and you hear someone you might, have heard of or something, that's just the technology. That's what they want. This weird. I mean, I see people driving around. I swear I see my sister driving around. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe it's just a doppelganger. I know I've seen a lot of doppelgangers in Yakima. Double people who look like other people. I don't know. But that's just the way it is in Yakima. I don't really talk about the child trafficking anymore. It's kind of a waste of time. I'm more about the Muslims and if and when they're going to try to do some sort of Arab Spring in the United States, or the communists. Maybe the communists will try to do something. But as far as that goes, I'm mostly focused on my health. From what I understand, in the future, it's going to be all about food, and whether it's that has like a weird imprint in it or something, like it was squished or something. But the food is genetically modified and altered. And like I said, if you're constantly watching videos on the internet and they can activate those dopamine receptors, in theory they can program the CRISPR, the yeast, whatever it is in your, the bacteria, if you will. They can modify that. And they can control you via your serotonin neuroreceptors. I think they're neuroreceptors. I'd have to double check that. But yeah, they can do that. So if you don't have enough healthy bacteria, or you don't have the right environment for the healthy bacteria, they will control you through your food. That's like Nazi stuff. A fun fact I learned about genetically engineered food. They say it's the technical or the political correct term would be genetically engineered versus genetically modified, because they'll say some crap like, oh, all the food's been genetically modified. We've been cross-breeding plants and species for years, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about genetically engineered, with the lab, designed to, I guess this one has mold in it. I didn't notice that. Probably going to check it. They're designed to be less susceptible to pesticides, to other things. But I've also noticed that a lot of the food, my grandmother likes to go to the food bank. She likes to save money, let's just put it to you that way. And a lot of the food I've noticed, especially the vegetables, seem to be susceptible, you can probably see that, to mold. And this looks fresh, except it's molding already. And this is what I mean. Like if the food we're eating is turning into mold and yeast by design, it's going to cause a lot of problems. I did do a little research, and I found out that you can, you can ferment genetically engineered food, and it changes the structure, and I guess it's just the genetically engineered, whatever it is in there, is just residual. It just changes the structure into something that can be eaten and can be ingested safely to a certain extent. But that's just my own digging. Definitely drink apple cider vinegar with the mother for the for the enzymes and not peptides, enzymes, maybe peptides. It has pectin in it. It's supposed to have pectin in it. But yeah, just be aware of that. The food we're eating nowadays is toxic, and it is having an effect on people's minds. And if you can't afford to eat organic, ferment a lot of the stuff. So just beware of DARPA and their dark agenda.